Hello guys, and welcome back to Legon on the Force 9's YouTube channel, and this is the last video in this series where we're going to have a look at our 4-year journey with Olympique Lyonnais. It's come to an end, and in our 4th year in charge, I originally said I was going to do 3, but I decided to do a 4th. I did ask for input from you guys as to whether you wanted me to, and well, not a lot of people said yes or no, so I decided to do it. And at the 4th time of asking, we won the league title by quite a way as well. We won by 12 points in the end. So this video is just looking back at the series, the 4-year journey we've had. So where do we start? Well, we start at the very beginning. Go to our schedule, and we'll go all the way back to our first season, 2014-2015. Let's filter out everything except the league, and we'll see how we did in our first season in charge of Lyon. So as you can see, defeats against like PSG. This was a good season. I was very happy with this for the first season in charge of Lyon. Couple of bad defeats like Montpellier and Nice, and losing in the road derby to Saint-Etienne. But I think that was the only time we actually lost to them. We beat them in every other game, I think. And a defeat away against Lens, defeat against Lille. No home defeats, which was a good thing. So I was happy with that. We didn't actually lose any games at home. Dropped a lot of points at home. We had draws with Marseille and Toulouse and Montpellier and Nice. And then we lost the last game of the season 1-0 against Rennes, which was a bit annoying because I think that in the end cost us. I believe that cost us Champions League football in the end. If I remember, that we actually could have got in the Champions League and we didn't do it, so that was a bit annoying. In the Coupe de France this first season, we drew Marseille in the very first round, and to this day I can't believe that we drew Marseille. And it wasn't the first time, it wasn't the only time in the save as well. In the most recent season, we drew Marseille in the first round. I couldn't believe it. And the fact, the number of teams that were in that draw, I mean, a lot of them were amateur teams. The Coupe de France, every team in France, not just in France, but every team in every French-speaking country. You're looking at, nations like, I don't know where Guadeloupe is, but they speak French. And in Réunion, all the territories, they play in this as well. And all of those teams that were in there, and we got Marseille. The Coupe de la Ligue, we won in our first year. We actually won silverware in our first year. Beating Brest, Paris Saint-Germain and Lorient before a 3-1 win against Guingamp in the final. Didn't play in the Trophée des Champions. Didn't play in the Champions League. In the Europa League, we got to the last 16 where we got knocked out by Leverkusen. Our group was a pretty easy group. Well, it wasn't really easy. It wasn't a terrible group. We saw off Motherwell and Bratislava in the qualifier and in the playoff. And our group consisted of Standard Liège of Belgium, Ludogorets of Bulgaria, and Grasshoppers of Switzerland. They're from, aren't they? I can never remember. Switzerland, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. We won every game in this group except for our last one because we were through and we played fringe players. And Ludogorets did beat us, but it didn't matter. We went through. And then in the last 32, the first knockout round, we drew FC Twente of the Netherlands. Got a 2-2 draw in Holland, but we beat them 4-2 at home to go through to the last 16, where we did get knocked out by Leverkusen. They beat us 1-0 at home, and then we could only draw in Germany, so we did go out of the Europa League. The Europa League in the following season, again, we made it a step further. Here we go. Our group, again, wasn't a bad group, really. We walked through the qualifiers. A 7-0 win there against Mlada Boleslav. Huge win there. And you can see a lot of goals scored there. Nabil Fekir got 4 assists in that match. It was good stuff. And their goalkeeper scored 2 goals in 4 minutes. I remember that. It was really funny. And then we knocked out Kilmarnock in the playoff round before a group that consisted of Dnipro, Sparta Prague, and Slovan Bratislava. So we went through that group. We lost the first game against Dnipro, but we won the rest of the games. I made it through to the last 32, where we faced Slovan Liberec. Drew 2-2 away from home, and then beat them at home 1-0. And then we drew Galatasaray in the last 16. Difficult tie. Galatasaray, a good team. And they beat us at home. But I thought, there's no way we're going to get through this. We conceded 2 away goals. We lost. We have to beat them away from home, and we have to beat them good. Thankfully and amazingly, we did. We beat them 4-0 in Turkey, and it was amazing. And then we made it through to the last 8, and we drew Spartak Moscow, which out of the other teams we could have drawn, wasn't a bad draw. But unfortunately, we couldn't put them away. They beat us 1-0 away from home. We won 1-0 at our stadium. Went through extra time, went to penalties, and unfortunately, in the penalty shootout, they defeated us. So that wasn't nice, and it was a bit annoying. Where did the shootout actually end? I want to try and see. Liverpool won it in the end. They defeated whoever it was in the most recent. Well, no, it was in the semi-finals. It was, yeah. So that's that. Also in this season, let's have a look. Coupe de la Ligue, we lost to PSG in the semi-final. Coupe de France, got to the 11th round and lost to Brest on penalties. And in the league, we finished runner-up this season, much better. And again, I think we could have won, but we didn't. Our last 2 games were good ones. Had fewer defeats, but again, a few silly draws like Monaco at home, Rennes at home, Arles Avignon, Stade Reims, Monaco again, Rennes, Evian beat us at home 1-0. We had some really silly defeats, and that did cost us in the end. Our third season, again, runners up. So let's again, we'll just filter the league in here. So yeah, first we had a big unbeaten run in the second season as well. We went all the way until the start of January undefeated, where we lost to Nice, and then we lost 2 more times that season. So yeah, so the third season we had first 5 we were unbeaten before our home defeat against Nice. And then we had 3 without a win here against Lille, Dijon and Marseille. Lost to Monaco. Big 3-3 draw with Paris Saint-Germain. And then we were unbeaten for a while until end of March, where we got defeated at home by Marseille. Lost 1-0 to Lens. And then the last 2 games, in which we could have won the league here, but unfortunately we didn't. We lost to Nantes, and that clinched it for Marseille. But then we beat Evian, which led us to season 4. 2017-2018. As before I do that. So Coupe de France this time. Again, we won it. We beat Lille 1-0 in the final. So once again, we did win the Coupe de France that year. So there was only 1 year on which we didn't win silverware, which was okay. Coupe de la Ligue this time round, we lost on penalties to Dijon. And in the Champions League, we got into the Champions League in this season because we were runners up. We got all the way to the semi-final, which I couldn't believe. I was amazed at that. We got entered straight into the group stage as well. Our group was at Copenhagen, Shakhtar Donetsk and Man City. A difficult group, but we did well. We only dropped points at the Etihad Stadium, and we drew at Shakhtar. And then we got through to the last 16, where we drew Dynamo Kiev. And after a goalless draw in the Ukraine, we beat them 1-0 at home and set up a quarter-final against Atletico Madrid. Big game. And we thumped them at home. We beat them 4-1, and I thought, not taking anything for granted, but we are in the driving seat with this tie. And then Atletico went and made it 4-1 in the reverse leg, and I thought, okay, right, as it stands, we'll go to extra time. And they almost got a 5th, which would have knocked us out. But unfortunately, fortunately for us, that was ruled out offside. We scored the second goal, and then meant that they had to score 2 more. And we got through to the last 4, where we drew Bayern Munich, the eventual winners, I think. Although it might have been Juventus, because I think they won it twice in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Bayern beat us 4-1 in Germany. We could only muster a 2-1 win at home. Wasn't enough. And they beat us on aggregate and made it through. Which leads us to the last season, this most recent season. So looking at the league, we were unbeaten until December, where we lost at home to Lille. And then we only suffered 2 league defeats that season. This most recent season. The other one being right at the end against Lille, but we had already wrapped up the title by then. Those were the only 2 defeats, and they were against Lille. So Lille did the double over us, the only team to beat us in the league. We had some great wins here as well. Our goal difference at the start wasn't great, but we had some big wins. A lot of 3-0 wins, I noticed. We had a lot of games where we scored 3s and 4s. And there's a 5-0 win there against Lorient. 5-1, 5-1, 6-2, 3-0, 4-1. Yeah, a lot of big wins. So that wrapped it up for us as well, really. It was the Coupe de France that we won last season, wasn't it? It wasn't the Coupe de la Ligue. It was the Coupe de France, yeah. I got confused. So yeah, we did win that. I remember now. Coupe de France, again, that's where we drew Marseille. So for the second time the save, we drew Marseille. The Coupe de la Ligue, we got to the semi-final where Bordeaux beat us 1-0. That was only an own goal as well, which was annoying. We won the Trophée des Champions. Us, the Coupe de France winners, beat Marseille 1-0, who won the league that year. And in the Champions League, we managed to get to the quarter-final with our group being Dynamo Kiev, Schalke and PSV Eindhoven. Difficult group, but we came out of it unbeaten. And the standout score there is Lyon 8, Schalke 4. And for me, I could not believe that scoreline. 8-4 is... Oh, you don't even see it like at all in real life, apart from maybe in like Sunday League or like amateur games or something. And 7-4 is the highest I can remember. And that was like Pompey and Reading and Arsenal and Reading. And I've never seen 12 goals scored in a game. I think it happened in Scotland once. It was a 6-6 draw, I think, with Hibs and someone. I think it was a few years ago. But 8-4 is just unprecedented. But yeah, we came out of the group undefeated and we set up a last 16 tie with a Leverkusen, a team that knocked us out of the Europa League in our first season. So looking for a bit of revenge here. And they did beat us 3-1 at the German in their stadium, which, you know, it was a bit of a hill to climb. But we did manage to go through via away goals, winning 2-0 at home. So that was all right. Set up a quarter-final with Juventus, which, that wasn't going to be easy. Juventus, in my Lazio save, won the league every year in 3 years. This one, you know, they won it a couple of times, but they were down in like third, I think. And after a 1-1 draw at home, they beat us 2-1 in Turin, and they made it through to the semi-finals, and they went on to win the whole thing. I think that's everything in terms of like all the seasons and that. So let's have a look at the tables in the end. So we'll go to the very first one. So here we go. So the first season we finished in 4th place. Marseille won everyone except for the one that we won, which is good. Sorry, my microphone slipped there and the adjustment did. So yeah, and we were only 7 behind Marseille in this one, so it could have been a lot better. You know, we could have got up there. We were only 7 behind in the end. Guingamp, Lorient and Met got relegated that year. The second season, it was much closer. Well, we came second, but it wasn't. Like, we were 7 behind in the first season. This time we missed out by 5, but we were runners up, which was a lot better. Only losing 3 games that season, of course, and Cayenne, Angers and Avignon got relegated. Runners up again in the third year, and again it was a 5-point gap. Bit further away from the teams below us this time. We were 14 ahead of third place Lille. Nancy, Le Havre and Stade Rennes got relegated there. And that takes us to our most recent season, where after 38 games we are champions. We won by 12 points in the end, which was a big margin. We'd wrapped up the title with 4 games to spare. Lille came second on 80 points. Marseille came third on 79 and win Champions League football. Paris Saint-Germain missed out on Champions League football once again, and they finished 4th on 76. And then it's a further 10 back to Rennes, who finished 5th with 66. Bordeaux, who finished 8th, qualified for the Europa League because they won the Coupe de la Ligue. And they were in the Coupe de France final as well. I don't know if they did the double. Let me see. They did. Bordeaux got the domestic double, beating PSG and Lorient in their respective finals. So they qualified for Europa League football. Going down that season, Evian, Cayenne and Nice, which wasn't really good. So who would be coming up? I won't be playing this. Of course, Auxerre are back in Ligue 1, which is good to see. They've been missing for a few years. Got relegated in 2012, bottom of the league. And they're coming up again this year. So Auxerre, after a bit of an absence, back in the top flight. Angers and Istres, the other guys that come up. Paris FC go back down to the 3rd tier. And Nîmes also go down, and Valenciennes. So that's that. And then coming up from the CFN, Ajaccio, Boulogne, and Martigues. I think that's how you say that. Dunkirk, Calais, Créteil, and Guignon. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but never mind. So these are the amateur groups. Don't really pay attention to these. I don't have these loaded. So yeah, that's not really that important. Coupe de France, of course, was won by Bordeaux. Louis won it in 2017. Toulouse, Bastia, and Guingamp, the other team to win it in the save. And then the Coupe de la Ligue, Bordeaux won that. Marseille, Montpellier, Paris Saint-Germain, and ourselves won it as well. Trophée des Champions, we won it this past year. That's the reserves. That's it. So let's have a look at the Europa League and the Champions League, see who's been winning that. So the Europa League, Liverpool were in their third final in a row this year, but Schalke beat them in the final on penalties. Juventus won it in 2017, Liverpool won it in 2016. I don't know who the final was in 2015. Let me see if I can see. It was Leverkusen Spurs in the final one. Spurs won 4-0 after extra time. Okay, that's it. That's kind of weird. And then in the Champions League, no, that's the Super Cup. We won the Champions League. In the Champions League, Barcelona won it. It wasn't Juventus, it was Barcelona. Barcelona won it for the second time in a row. The 2016 final was... Oh, it went too far. Here it is. Barcelona beat Bayern in that final. 2016. Man City beat Schalke on penalties. Yeah, Schalke got in the final that year. That was weird. And then Bayern beat Shakhtar. Oh, it's a semi-final. Okay. Bayern Munich beat Barcelona in that final. Thiago Müller. God's sake. Thomas Müller getting the goal there. So that was that. So what do we look at now then? Let's have a look at our squad. So hopefully we can look at the overall stats. So who do we actually have loaded here? Quite a lot of people actually. We'll just load the senior squad. The reserve guys might have played 1 or 2 games here and there, but only a handful. Right, so let's have a look at who made the most appearances and stuff for this season. This is in all competitions. So, Clément Grenier, I think, had an involvement in every game this year. 52 games, one of which came from the bench. Absolute legend. Well, not a legend, but he is to me. He's a legend. He scored some terrific goals. One of the best free kick takers I've ever had in FM. I mean, if he's got a free kick, if he's got a direct free kick and he takes it, 9 times out of 10 he will score. He's amazing. He got 9 goals in all competitions this season, 19 assists. Amazing. Really, really good. TT played a lot of games this season, all of which were starts, 48. Very much a good defender. Good rating as well. And managed 7 in all competitions this season. Lacazette played in a lot of games as well. I think dropped him for 1 game because he had a dreadful game. And he got 24 in all competitions and 14 assists. Lots of other players here playing a lot of games. And I rotate quite a bit as well, as you can see. A lot of people getting a lot of starts and bench appearances. Top scorer for us in all competitions was Lacazette with 24. Nabil Fekir had a fantastic season with 17 goals and 13 assists. He was in 42 games in total. 15 of those were from the bench. Fekir's had a tremendous season. Ben Yedder also got double figures. Started 26 games and was substituting 4 of them. Still got 16 goals there. So really, really good. 7 assists and 3 man of the match awards. I've got to get double figures. Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. Didn't start a lot of games, only 5, but he had 26 appearances from the bench, and a lot of those goals did come from the bench. He became a bit of a super sub for me. Other goal scorers, Grenier got 9, Umtiti got 7, Khedira 7, Asensio 7, Kone 5, Halilovic 5, Gonalon 2, Gorkov 2, Cornet 2. Some of these were friendlies as well though. Shenikov, Jokic, Nguma, Rabiot, and Yilmaz all getting 1 goal. Yilmaz, the 17-year-old defender, got a goal in the penultimate game of the season this year. So assists, a lot of assists, and it's really good to see this. Grenier, as I said, with 19, Lacazette 14, Fekir 13, Khedira 9. So yeah, really, really good. Most man of the match awards, Lacazette got 8, Grenier got 5. My fullbacks got a few, Juan Fran and Nika, the 2 right backs, really, really good right backs there. 2 of my best signings this year, I think. 4 man of the match awards each there, so yeah, great stuff there. Best passer, Tolisso, 86%. 30 appearances all in all, half of those were starts. Kind of rotated him and Gonalon a bit, and I had to drop Gonalon into defence a few times to make up for other absences or suspensions or injuries. So Tolisso had a good season. I might try. Well, I would say I'm imagining he'll be going, but we'll see what happens there. So a lot of guys getting above 80% pass rate, which is really good. In terms of tackles, Shenikov, really, really good left back. Getting a fantastic signing this year, averaging about 11 tackles a game, so that's really good. Dribbles, 4.37, the highest with Lacazette. Shot ratio, Kaufman and Jokic, 100% of their shots this season were on target. Probably didn't take a lot of shots, but never mind. Yellow cards were a bit better this season. I mean, like some guys got, double figures. A few guys got double figures in recent years. Gonalon was the most with 11 this year. TT and Jokic got a few, and Kone. Nika did much better this season, but he didn't play as many games. Nika got a lot of yellow cards in previous years. Red cards, TT got 2, Gonalon got 1, Kone got 1, and Freddie Guarin got 1. Average ratings, a lot of players getting above 7, which is really good to see. Really impressed with that. Nika, the best player, on 7.74 average, which is really, really good. Highest average rating in the team I've ever had in this save, anyway. And then the lowest ones, Cornet, didn't play a lot of games, didn't do very well. Aldrain, only a youngster. Kaufman, Hussein, Guarin, Gomez, Asensio's was a bit low because he had a really bad spell. He was on loan for 1 year, and then we signed him permanently this year for 6 million. Didn't do terribly, but he had some poor performances. So, what do we do now? How long have I actually been recording for? About 20 minutes. What else can we do? Well, what I am going to do is I'm going to do another video with Leon, actually, in which we'll look ahead to the future and see how some of our regions do. I just remembered something, actually. I just saw my inbox. I got offered not 1, not 2, but 3 job interviews. 1 from Paris Saint-Germain, 1 from Dortmund, and 1 from Valencia. It's interesting because Valencia was on a 3-team shortlist of teams that I'm going to take charge of in my newest series. And Valencia were on that shortlist. And I saw this, and I really thought, how about for my new series, if I attended that interview and if I got the Valencia job, my new series would be taking on Valencia from May 2018. And it really made me think, do I want to do that? It was kind of a spontaneous thing, really. And I'm going to leave it on this page. I'm going to save it at this time, and I'm going to have a think about it. And if I do want to do it, I might do this Valencia. I might continue this save as Valencia alongside my newest series if I get the job. I don't know what happened to their other manager. I assume he was sacked. Well, Valencia finished 8th. Rafa Benitez was their manager. He returned in 2016 after, about a 12-year absence, and he was sacked after just over 2 years. So that was really interesting that I saw that. So I'm going to attend the interview. I'm going to do that now, actually. Let's attend the interview. There's some reservations regarding the fact you have never managed in this country. Can you explain why that shouldn't be an issue? My standing in the game. Let's try that. You so far only managed 1 team in your entire career. Is this a good or bad thing in your opinion? I've dedicated more time, patience, and emotion to my job than I dare to remember, and I think most people would agree I've done good work. You've done some highly impressive work at your current club. Why did you want to move on? I'm in the position to take the positive momentum I've built up and use it to hit the ground running at Valencia. The club were looking for a candidate capable of performing to our expected standards across multiple competitions. I am confident of handling that better than our previous manager. I've always been more about the process than the result, and I suggest this club needs to focus on more than just competition performance. Clubs looking to hire a manager comfortable working with limited resources. Are you that manager? Yeah, I can do loan signings, I can do free transfers. I'll be able to look after finances if I'm given the job. Are there any philosophies you wish to propose? We judge you on if you are appointed as manager. Sign a large number of youngsters. Possession, direct, attacking, defensive, set pieces. Develop younger players, and I'll leave it at that. No further philosophies. We're currently in a position to set any expectations for you to meet. Expectations and budgets will be laid out in the run-up to next season if you are appointed. Do you have anything for us to consider should we decide to hire you? Youth recruitment. Yeah, I don't care about that. Youth facilities? Okay, whatever. Youth coaching system. Oh, fine, whatever. Right, okay, that's done. So are they going to offer us the job? Let's see. So while this is going on, I guess now is a good time as any to reveal what the new series is going to be. It's going to be starting on Monday, the 6th of July. FIFA World Cup squads names. Oh yeah, the World Cup's going on, isn't it? Have we heard you may be considering leaving Lyon for a new job in the near future? The chairman has invited you to enter into talks with the club's board to try and keep you at the club. If you agree to stay, you'll be withdrawn from the running for any vacancies. Right. We'll discuss the current vision. They're just trying to persuade us to stay at the club, aren't they? I don't want to discuss it. There we go. We'll just see what happens. If they offer us the job, then I'll definitely have to think about it. So that's really interesting that happens. So yeah, I think that's going to do it. So there only remains for one thing to talk about now, and that is my new series. So throughout the week, I've been giving you hints as to what my new series is going to be, or the team I'm going to be taking charge of. And what I've told you is that it's a team that was relegated this past season. The team was relegated from a top flight league, so the highest division in the nation. That nation is not one of the big 8 as far as the top leagues go, so it is not a league in England, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Russia, or the Netherlands. And the last hint I gave you was that the initials of the club are adjacent in the alphabet, so the letters are next to each other in the alphabet. So the example I gave was Eintracht Frankfurt, because that's E and F, and they're next to each other in the alphabet. Not going to be Eintracht Frankfurt. So I can now reveal that my newest series, my next series, which starts on Monday the 6th of July, is going to be called In Bruges. And the team I'll be taking charge of is Cercle Bruges, who this year were relegated from the top Belgian league. Bottom, I'm pretty sure they were bottom. And I've installed a new update on Football Manager, a new transfer update, which also does the promotions and relegations. So even though we'll be starting in June 2014, we will be in the second tier of the Belgium league. So it's going to be really interesting. It's done all the new signings and stuff. The thing with Bruges is that if we take charge, we will have no transfer budget, and we will have very little wages to spend. So it's going to be a completely different challenge to this, and I'm really looking forward to doing this one. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out on Monday. Now all remains to do is to see if we are going to be given the Valencia job. And if we don't, then that's going to be a bit of an anticlimax, isn't it? Team of the month. Alright, we'll skip ahead to when it happens, and I will also actually see who wins the World Cup. So I'll do that before we go as well. So I will jump ahead. Oh God, we've been approached. We've been approached. Oh God. Well, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Delay. I've got to delay. Okay, delay for a week. They've agreed. I want to look at the World Cup. Right. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to save it here. And I'm going to have a look at the World Cup. And then we're going to come back to it. It's really... It's not even a game. And it's tense. They have agreed to offer this the job, though. Alright. Just for the sake of continuing with the save, I have accepted the Valencia job, but I saved before that, so there was still will be a decision to be made on that. I've tried to look as little as I can. I've done the chairman's meeting, and then that's it really. I've tried to look at not to look at anything else. I've gone on holiday and everything. The final of the 2018 World Cup is England versus Belgium. England played in the World Cup opener against hosts Russia. Danny Welbeck is the joint top scorer in the World Cup so far, with Seferovic of Switzerland, Lukaku of Belgium, and Alexis Sanchez of Chile, and there may be other people there that have 5. Let's see if England won the World Cup in 2018. God. I didn't look at the emails. There we go. Right, what happens? Come on, here we go. Who's going to win? 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 Go away. Don't want to hear you. It won't be played yet, will it? Won't be played till the evening. But then it's Russia. I don't know what the time difference is in Russia. England won 4-2. England won the World Cup. England won the 2018 World Cup, beating Belgium 4-2 in the final. Daniel Welbeck and Lukaku get top scorer with 7 goals each. Welbeck, I guess, wins the golden boot in that occasion because he comes first. Let's have a look at the groups. So Russia get knocked out as hosts. England and Cameroon go through at the expense of Russia and USA. Belgium and Wales go through. Uruguay and Iraq go out. Germany and Bosnia go through. Ivory Coast and Japan go out. Portugal and South Africa go through. Poland and Australia go out. Argentina and Egypt go. Egypt got through to a World Cup. That's never happened before. Egypt have done so well in Cup of Nations and stuff, but they've never ever qualified for a World Cup, and they got in the last 16. Costa Rica and Slovenia went out. Chile and Switzerland went through. Holland and Uzbekistan went out. France and Brazil went through, no surprise in that group there. DR Congo and New Zealand went out. Spain and Serbia went through. Qatar and Mexico went out. Last 16. England knocked out Wales in extra time. Belgium knocked out Cameroon on penalties. Germany knocked out South Africa. Portugal knocked out Bosnia. Argentina beat Switzerland on penalties. Chile beat Egypt. France beat Serbia after extra time. Brazil beat Spain 1-0. England beat Portugal 2-0. Belgium beat Germany 2-1. Brazil beat Argentina 2-1. Chile beat France 2-0. England beat Chile 3-1 after extra time. And Belgium beat Brazil 2-0. Brazil finished third after a penalties victory over Chile, and England won the World Cup. That's amazing. England have won the World Cup. Who is the England manager now, by the way? Let's have a look. I don't know if Bilic took control. Roberto Martinez. That's cool. That's really good. I'm happy about that. That's a good way to end, I think. England winning the World Cup. That's quite good to see. But yeah, what I'm going to do, right, so that's that. So yeah, I just continued. I did, for the sake of actually progressing with the save, choose to take charge of Valencia, but I'm going to go back and load the previous game, load back to where I was, and we're going to leave it on the page that we were on. So we will leave it here with Valencia approaching Le Neuf. So, well, if you see this, if you want to have your say into what's going to happen here, then do leave it in the comments or on my Twitter or anything like that. Do you want me to continue this save alongside the new Cercle Bruges series and take charge of Valencia in 2018 or not? Let me know. If I don't get a lot of feedback, then I will make a decision myself. It is something that could happen. I'm not sure whether to go back to doing 2 series, because then it would take longer to complete a series. That's the only issue I have with this, is that doing 2 series at a time means that they'll take longer. So that's it, really. So that's going to do it for here. As I said, I'll be doing one more video with Lyon. It'll be a Scenario Sunday video in which we'll look at them in the future after we've left. And that won't be this Sunday because I've got one set up already this Sunday. It'll probably be either next Sunday or the following Sunday. I'll try and get it out. So that's it really. So yeah, been a really good series. Been my favourite series so far I've done on this channel. It beat Charlton. Charlton I could have enjoyed more if I'd have not lost the save, which was a bit of a shame. That's why this got born. Oh no, this was a Lazio successor, but that's why this went for 4 years, for 4 seasons, because it became my only running series after the Charlton series got lost, and I enjoyed it more than Lazio. This has been my favourite series so far. Really enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. If there's anybody that's watched any of these videos, not just like all of them, if you've watched any of this series, big thank you. If you've enjoyed what you saw, leave a like, leave any comments. In the end, hopefully subscribe. Yeah, it's been a good ride and I've really enjoyed it, and possibly the ride will continue with Valencia. But that's going to do it for this series, apart from that little Scenario Sunday video. So tune in Monday, where there'll be the start of a new series. As I said, I'll be taking charge of Cercle Bruges in Belgium, and we're going to see if we can get them out of the second tier of the Belgian league system. Looking forward to that. Hope you are too. That's going to do it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.